guys, Tim with Tulster here. I'm back with our friend Ben from Black Lab Operations. Ben, it's great to have you here, man.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects. I hear it's one of yours too.
It is.
Awesome. Awesome. We're talking about Glocks and why we think everybody should own a Glock, whether that be a 19, a 43X, a 47, any of them. We just love them. So, Ben, tell us some of your experience with Glock and what's going on there.
Yeah, so that's been, Glocks have been what I've been shooting almost exclusively since I became a gun owner. 16, 17 years or so, I should say legally a gun owner. Right? Bought my first gun whenever I turned 21. It was not a Glock. But it was about as close as I could get to one without spending the money. I was a broke 21-year-old, bought a little Smith & Wesson SD9, very basic, very simple gun. And somebody one day said to me, you know what you really need? You need a Glock. Because if you like shooting this hunk of junk, you're going to love a Glock. So, and then fast forward, I got into law enforcement. I was 22 years old, got into law enforcement. And if you know anything about the LEO world, if they issue you a gun, chances are they issue you a Glock. So you have to learn. Most agencies, a lot of agencies, especially back then, did not allow you to carry your personal guns. So even if you had a preference, it didn't matter. You were going to learn on that Glock.
You're stuck with it.
And so you were going to learn how to work through it. And what we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier is, you know, the Glock is, it kind of forces you to abandon all senses of comfort and just work on skill. Become a skilled shooter rather than a shooter that depends on any kind of preference or special grip angle or anything of that nature. And so it ended up just kind of becoming a place of comfort for me. You know, again, shooting pretty much exclusively Glock for now close to 15 years. It has been something that now there are plenty of really nice guns out there. There are lots of guns that are extremely high quality and extremely comfortable to shoot. But man, I always find myself coming back to my first love.
Just right back to her.
That's it, man. That's
awesome. Going back to touch on your skilled shooters example, I found that with Glocks, you're exposing any sort of like bad habits you have.
100%.
Really. With fancier stuff, staccatos, Smith & Wessons, some SIGs, you can kind of get away with bad fundamentals. But if you're running just a stock Glock, it's showing you everything that you suck at, to put it frank.
That's a really good way to put it, yeah.
It's just, it's not covering up anything with any fancy touches that you have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think technology is great. And no one here is upset about technology.
Right.
You know, we want things to continue to progress. It's always a good thing when things are easier on us.
Yeah, for sure.
But I go back to if you can run a Glock, you can run anything.
Yeah.
You know, this is the kind of, like as you said, this is the kind of weapon that doesn't make any sort of accommodations for your lack of trigger control. Doesn't make any accommodations for your lack of grip structure. This weapon requires solid fundamentals. And again, going back to it, if you learn those solid fundamentals and can employ them on this platform, which is also, it's not just, and we were kind of making it seem like it's really hard to work. It's not just a very basic weapon system, but it's also a very highly functioning weapon system. I think in general, simpler is usually better.
Yeah, it's going to run.
Simpler is usually going to keep fewer things to break, fewer things to go wrong. But yeah, I mean, you know, I can go out and buy a $2,500 staccato and I can run that thing and burn it to the ground. And that's great. But if I can do anything remotely close with this guy, then imagine what I can do with something that's going to take away any imperfections that I might have.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So we've touched kind of on your background, kind of why we think this. I also want to talk about like parts and magazines, right? That's another giant thing about why we stand behind Glocks. They've been, you know, the standard for law enforcement and military contracts for a while. That has trickled into us as civilians. So no matter what you break or want to change on this gun, you can find it almost anywhere.
Almost anywhere.
You can go into whatever small town gun store you have. They're going to have Glock mags. They're going to have some small parts. Anywhere.
They're going to have springs. They're going to have trigger bars. They're going to have They're going to have the, all of the internals, the extractors, whatever it is you need. I mean, I think it's extremely rare that people actually break parts on their Glocks.
Right.
I almost never hear of it.
Yeah.
But even if it's not about broken parts, it's just about customization.
Yeah.
Even if right now the Gucci Glock is kind of a big thing, you take a weapon system that is fairly inexpensive, it's easy on the budget, and then piece by piece you make it into this really fancy fast runner.
Yeah.
And that's great. And the ability to do that, I think, is pretty unsurpassed by any other weapons manufacturer. Right. I don't think anybody comes close.
I would agree there, man. It's if an accessory gets made for a gun, it gets made for a Glock first.
100%.
If you get holsters, they get made for a Glock first.
100%.
It doesn't matter if you think that's cool. That's just what happens. So having a Glock in your armory, having it in your repertoire, if you will.
Sure.
You're always going to have an option that's going to run.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. And like we talked about earlier, I consider, or at least I've heard it said, that the Glock is kind of like the stick shift to the gun world, right? My dad always told me growing up, he drove an old 89 Chevy Cheyenne when I was a kid. And he said, I want you to learn how to drive this truck, because if you can drive a stick shift, you can drive anything. Yeah. Right? You can drive a tank. You can fly an airplane. You can do whatever you want.
No matter where you go.
I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what he said.
I think you can fly a plane.
And I think if you can run a Glock, a very standard weapon that doesn't make a lot of attempts to satisfy some of your flaws, right? If you can do that on a weapon system that is just what it is, it's basic but also high quality and going to function every time. Yeah. You can do it with anything. Yeah, absolutely.
Your performance is going to be out of this world.
100%. And I think that's why they are so popular. Yeah, that's why you see them so much, both by private citizens as well as, again, law enforcement. I would venture to say it was 90+% issue Glocks, as well as the military has had a pretty great history with Glocks as well.
I'd agree. We've done a lot of talking about Glock. Let's show off our Glocks.
Sure.
I think we should have hit that at first, but
why not? You want to start?
Make them wait. Sure, I can. Yeah, I've got the smaller one. So you guys know I run a Glock 19. Got the RMO9 on it. I have recently swapped to the HLX, the TLR7 HLX. I'm a big fan of the X300. We don't have one. We don't have an ARC for the X300 yet. That's coming. So I've swapped to this HLX to kind of explore it, test it out, see how I'm liking it. And I'm running the ARC right now. It's a real simple setup. Just a Glock, optic, light, and a really good holster.
Absolutely. So,
you've got several here.
I've got two here and a couple more at the house, but these are the two that I brought today. So this is the Glock Model 47. This is and I'm going to remove the magazine, but I am clear. This is the Glock Model 47. This is Glock's newest full-size 9mm. So this is kind of Glock's answer to what SIG has been doing with their transferable FCU and things of that nature. Glock's trying to get somewhat into that world. They're no longer, or are about to discontinue the Glock 17 MOSs. Right. So that's where the 47 comes in. But other than a slight change and a little bit of a dust cover here and a slight frame difference, this is essentially a Glock 17. Yeah, very simple, full-size 9mm. I love this gun very, very much. I haven't owned it that long, but I put a ton of rounds through it. On top is the Trijicon SRO. I'm a huge fan of the SRO, the massive window on it. I mean, it makes picking up that dot so extremely easy. I do run on this currently a Streamlight TLR1 HL for duty use. Right. When I'm not on duty, I generally do not run a light on this weapon, mainly because I like to carry it in my contour.
I have it on pretty good authority that light bearing contours on its way. So it's coming. I assure you.
Praying and waiting. I'm pumped about that.
Yeah.
Contours. I love that holster. So right now I generally don't carry a light, but when I do, it's like I said, TLR1 HL. So, but yeah, the 47 is a phenomenal weapon system. I'm very, very happy with it. And then this is my everyday carry weapon right now. This is what I'm carrying on me 99% of the time.
Right.
When I'm not working, this is what's on me. This is the Glock 43X. Again, I'll move the mag, but I am clear. This, as you can see, is painted. I'm a little bit of a rattle can
Yes,
nerd.
sir.
I love to rattle can my guns. I haven't done that one just because it is a duty weapon, but all the rest of them are some kind of weird color.
Good.
Love that. On top is the Hollow Sun HS507K. It's their mini red dot. And then the TLR 7X sub, and I'm also obviously carrying it in my ARC. But yeah, we were talking about this earlier. This is in my opinion, this has become the best of both worlds for me. You know, when the 43 first came out, it's a single stack magazine. I think it was 8 or 9 rounds or 10 rounds maybe. Not a fan of single stack magazines, just personally. The Shield Arms mag is a 15 round magazine and a steel magazine. So this kind of blends the two worlds of a thin profile, slim frame handgun that I can carry and super easily conceal while also being able to keep that magazine capacity where I want it.
Yeah.
Such as your 19 is a 15+1.
You're getting the
and
same
now my
capacity.
43 is also a 15+1. So again, just kind of found the best of both worlds here. Love this gun. Love it a ton.
You're able to push that kind of into a duty role.
Exactly.
Because you're getting that same magazine capacity here, just with slimmer frame, center slot.
100%, and working a little bit of you may call it undercover or just surveillance type stuff in plain clothes.
Yeah.
This gives me the opportunity to again be able to. It's kind of hard to conceal this big thing, right? Gives me the opportunity to be able to work in those situations and not sacrifice the security of a nice full magazine, but also be able to maintain my concealment.
10 rounds goes fast in a firefight.
It certainly does. It certainly does, and I don't care what you say. I'd rather have more than less.
Yeah.
Period.
For sure.
I don't care how good a shooter you are.
Yeah, having more rounds is always good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Ben, thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge, especially when it comes to Glocks, but not only Glocks, Black Lab Ops, your training company. Yeah. That's, as always, linked down below, I think. If I'm not, they'll cut this. I'm not supposed to say that. They'll cut this. Where can people find you? Yeah, so we are on all the main social media platforms. Good. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm not on X. I've never even messed with X. I don't know anything about X. But yeah, right now Facebook is our main. We've got a pretty good, almost 1,000 followers on Facebook. We're almost there on TikTok as well. Trying to get YouTube up and running. But yeah, on all of those. And then you can email us, blacklabops@gmail.com. Yeah, send us a message, send us an email. Our website, www.blacklaboperations.com. And right now we have all of our listed classes. Right now we're in a season of we don't really schedule classes until we have interest in them. Right. So we build the students and then we put the classes out there. So, but we're always coming up with new classes, always putting stuff out, from low light stuff to basic stuff to some more what we call our master courses in handgun and rifle. And then we even have done a couple of we did a medical class, a trauma class back in January. So linked up with another trainer there. But yeah, I mean, look us up on all the socials, on our website, or shoot us an email. Yeah. And yeah, I'd love to partner up if somebody wants to come take a class. For sure. Yeah. Awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, do all the things down there, hit the notification bell. And as always, carry with confidence.